I want to give a shout out to Vicky. Vicky was my big sister Sarah, which she's passed away. She passed away, gosh, I guess it's close to 2011. So it's close to a very long time. But Vicky was Sarah's best friend when they were children, and Vicky's friends with me on Facebook, and she sends me on Messenger. I mean, every day. She sends me articles, memes. She bless your heart, Vicky. You are a concerned American patriot citizen. With a lot of stuff that you send me and cover, that you have these concerns just like the rest of us. And Vicky sent me this article, and there's a goofy ad at the top. So it's like Trump administration puts Tim Waltz in its crosshairs. So I was like, what? So I look at this. She sent it to me, I don't know, about an hour or two ago. Um, so I go on YouTube. I'm going everywhere. I'm trying to find videos, if any news outlets covering it. I haven't seen anything, but I'm sure they'll get to it. They'll get to it. But I did find this article very, very interesting, and thank you, Vicky, for sending it to me and sharing it with me. The Trump administration has leveled a devastating blow against Minnesota Governor Tim Waltz, accusing his state's election officials of violating federal civil rights laws by allowing biological males to compete in female sports and use female facilities. Just when you think it's over, people. Just when you think we're almost there. We're almost there. On Tuesday, the U.S. Department of Education's Office for Civil Rights and the Department of Health and Human Services jointly announced that the Minnesota Department of Education and the Minnesota State High School League are in violation of Title IX. The federal agencies conclude that Waltz's state government has for years ignored biological reality and sacrificed young women's athletic opportunities in the name of so-called gender inclusion. Hey, I had to go look up what 1X was. Look, I'll show you. And there's the chart. Um, yeah, it's 9. It's like, what is that? I was thinking it was like 11, or something like that. I thought it was 11. Oh, and did I mention this is from Trending Politics, by the way? I have never been here, so thank you, Vicky. It's another source of gathering some news, but there's a lot of pop ups on here when I was trying to navigate through this article. Gender inclusion. So called gender inclusion. Tampon Tim is not going to let it go. The findings stem from investigations that escalated earlier this year after President Trump issued his February 2025 executive order keeping men out of women's sports. The order directed federal agencies to enforce biological based standards in education and athletics, cutting off federal funds to entities that fail to comply with Title IX protections for girls. Minnesota was already on notice. Reports surfaced in June that a male athlete at Champlain Park High School dominated the girls' state softball championship. According to investigators, the pitcher allowed just one earned run over 35 innings, striking out 27 female opponents. That performance, officials say, robbed female athletes of a fair competition and exposed the consequences of Waltz's policies of letting boys play on girls' teams. It's a no-brainer. Are you kidding me? Boys are stronger, faster. They can throw that ball like nobody's business. Now, the Minnesota Department of Education and the Minnesota State High School League found themselves on the wrong side of Title IX by allowing males to compete in women's sports, said Craig Tyner of the Department of Education's acting assistant secretary for civil rights. The Trump administration will not allow Minnesota or any other state to sacrifice the safety, fair treatment, and dignity of its female students to appease the false idols of radical gender ideology. I love that sentence. That was fabulous. Look at this. Look at this. The the false idols of radical gender ideology. Trump administration has given Minnesota 10 days to comply, to come into compliance or face enforcement actions. Federal officials let out sweeping requirements in a proposed resolution agreement. And here we go. Here's the slam. And we don't want to look at his face now, do we? Maybe I can move this over. Yeah, Obama's going to be on there. I'm sorry. Maybe we'll do something. Let's see if we can get his face out of there. We go. There we go. Let's go to studio mode. Let me fix it there. Now you won't have to look at Obama. And I greatly apologize. Rescind or revise all state policies allowing males to compete in female athletes. Issue a statewide notice mandating sex-based separation in athletics and facilities. Restore to female athletes records and titles that were stripped from them by male competitors. Send apology letters to each of the affected girls. Man, right on, right on, right on. I just love Trump. I love it. I love it. Send apology letters to all them girls. Submit updated Title IX compliance training materials to Washington for approval. Yeah, so they got to come up with their own training and then send it, and then they got to approve it. Okay. Let's see. Certify annually that all schools and leagues comply with biological-based Title IX standards. Paula Standard, director of HHS Office for Civil Rights, said Waltz's administration has failed to recognize the fundamental biological differences between males and females, differences that justify single-sex teams and are essential to ensuring fair and safe competition for girls and women. They have failed to recognize the fundamental biological differences. This is just crazy. The announcement marks a turning point in the Trump administration's ongoing fight with Democratic-led states over transgender participation in sports. For Waltz, who once brushed off concerns about fairness in girls' athletics, the move could prove politically devastating. The administration's language made clear that it is not simply about sports policy. This is about federal law and whether Minnesota, under Waltz's leadership, can continue to take federal educational dollars while disregarding Title IX. If Waltz's education department refuses to comply, the Trump administration could strip Minnesota schools of critical federal funding. The Justice Department's Title IX Special Investigations Team has already been involved, signaling the White House's determination to make Minnesota a test case for enforcing biological standards in women's sports. Based. Absolutely. Absolutely. This is awesome. This is awesome. But you know, Vicky, what do you think? Tell me down in the description, when you read this article, what was your first thoughts? And what is Tim going to do? What is Tampon Tim going to do? So they're going to go, we got to go to court. We got to take this to court. They can't refuse us federal funding because we want We want boys to be able to go in the locker rooms and the girls' room and even to get tampons. We mounted tampons. We spent millions. We spent millions to put these tampon machines in the men's bathrooms. What? You're going to ruin everything. Trump ruins everything. Thank you, Vicky, for sending me this article. Thought I'd do a quick video on it. If I find any other commentary on it, or if some news outlets cover it with more information, especially what is the response of the Tampon Tim team, Tampon 10 team, what are they going to say? But Vicky, what do you think? Do you think Tampon Tim is they're going to get lawyer up and take him to federal court and fight this? They're going to fight this because boys can play in girls' sports and they can go in the boys' bathroom and we're going to take you to court. You can't withhold our money. No. And we do what we want. Because Tim, I just saw a thing earlier where Tim Waltz is going to run again because he says he's keeping up the fight. Now, he's keeping up the good fight. God bless you, Vicky, and thank you so much for the article. Love you. I always think about you. I hear songs from the past, and I think of you and Sarah when I was really little. I have very smitted, I said smitted, vague memories of you being with Sarah in the room, and you kept wanting me to talk again because my voice was really deep when I was little, and y'all would giggle and laugh. That's awesome. But anyway, love you. God bless. And Vicky, you keep up the good fight. Keep sending me those. If there's something you want me to go over in one of my videos, please don't hesitate to send. And if anybody else wants me to go over anything and wants my opinion on it, you can find in the description on YouTube my email address and email me, or just write on one of the contact me, right? Say, hey, on one of the videos or whatever. But anyway, there you have it. And have a good evening.